Hi, welcome to Finding Me. I'm your host, Damian Smith. This next story is one about encouragement, but most importantly, the struggle that an individual suffered through, but found the importance of finding their better life on the other side. Welcome to Finding Me. This story is called I Was Diagnosed with Life.
My name is Cherie, and this is my story of finding me. November 2014. I am returning. Is Thanksgiving week, which is one of the busiest weeks in retail because of Black Friday. Well, that Monday, I had my first editorial shoot in a Chicago magazine as a makeup artist, as the featured makeup artist. It was a success, and I had just started a new job as a makeup artist with NARS Cosmetics, and I was on top of the world. I had really was blazing my way through Chicago market, coming from Denver. Um, so I'm coming home from the shoot and doing praise and worship in the car, no radio, just thanking God. And I stopped at a stop sign at an intersection and I proceeded through it. And lo and behold, I get T-boned by a taxi that ran the stop sign and hit me. From there, it took me like 2 hours to get home because I was so discombobulated. I didn't know where I was going. So I finally made it home. I go to the hospital and they are like, you got some bumps and bruises, but you have a concussion, but you seem to be okay. So I went home and I had some injuries, but I was okay. Well, I go back to work and I feel weird. Like I can't function, I can't talk, my voice is slurred. Just knew something wasn't right. And I remember in previous years, my father and my grandmother had strokes, and I was having similar symptoms. Every time I looked down, I would be, vertigo would kick in. I would be dizzy, about to pass out at work, but I'm still working, 50 hours that whole week because it's Black Friday week. So I'm just a mess. I don't know how. Well, it was God that got me back and forth to Chicago. So I started doing chiropractic services, and every time he would adjust me or do it, I would get sick. I would get nauseous, almost pass out. They were like, something's not right. Let's send you for an MRI. So they sent me for an MRI, and they see lesions on my skin, and they're thinking that I have post concussion syndrome, but he wasn't sure. So I had a really great chiropractor. He was more than just a regular chiropractor. He was about all wellness. So they sent me to Northwestern to the neurologist, and I had to do this MRI. If anybody's had MRI, it's very scary. They put you in this big cocoon and it's loud, and I had to sit there for like 3 hours. And when they came back, they called me back. Dr. Shepard called me back in, so I had to go back to Chicago, and he says, "I'm so sorry, Cherie, you have MS." Now, I'm looking at him. He looks like he's about to cry. I look at him and I'm like, okay, MS, all right. I said, is it cancer? He was like, no. I said, will I die from it? Is it terminal? He was like, no. I said, okay, then I got this. I'm all right. I knew nothing. All I knew about MS was Montel Williams and Annette Funicello and Richard Pryor. That's all. And I was like, okay, I ain't going out like Richard because I don't do drugs. So I was okay with it, but little did I know what was ahead of me. So it took a long road. That was 3 days after my birthday. So I was diagnosed on February 15th in 15. So February 13th in 15. And the symptoms that I experienced was like a stroke, because what MS is, it is a autoimmune deficiency disease that affects your brain and your spine, so your central nervous system. And it's kind of like when you have a cell phone cord, and you've been working and you carrying it everywhere, and it gets frayed. The protective coating around it comes apart, and it exposes the wire. Well, pretty soon those wires are going to short, and it is not going to work anymore. And that's how our nerves are. Our nerves are protected by myelin, and myelin, MS attacks the myelin, and so it exposes the nerve. And if you've ever experienced a pinched nerve, or your your foot falls asleep, that's kind of like what MS is like. So depending on where your lesions are, which are where it shorts out, it can affect that area. So you might wake up and not be able to walk. You might wake up and you might not be able to see. We get brain fog, and you're always tired. And one of the main things that is really difficult is because people look at you and it's an invisible disease, so they don't understand that we pretty much go through pain every single day. It just might be in a different area. So one day I might be walking with a cane, one day I might not. I don't know what every day when I wake up, if I wake up, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of the bed, or I've had my sight go out before, and this was actually before, so I believe that I've had MS probably since a junior in high school, because that's about the first time that I remember having pain, and I believe my first lesion was in my C3, and that's where I have the most pain, and it affects everything. So some of the things that I've experienced is memory fog, saying words wrong. I'll think a word and it'll come out totally different. Let's see what else. My face. I have trigeminal neuralgia, which is one of the nerves. You have this big nerve that goes across your whole face, and when you are inflamed, it causes pain. So it's like a migraine on crack. And the nickname is the suicide disease, because people that have it usually commit suicide from the pain. So I thank God that it was painful, but not to that point. Depression is one of the number one symptoms of MS. So, even though I'm a very positive person, sometimes depression kicks in, and it's really nothing you can do about it except pray through it. I've had issues where I've had to go through physical therapy, because it has been a time where my gait, which is your hips and your pelvic bone, will quit. So it makes walking extremely difficult. I always say I feel like a newborn giraffe when they come out standing up, but they wobble. So sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I could walk around and do, I just press through. But the key is to keep your stress level down eat healthy, and it took a long time for me to even get to that point of really eating healthy and paying attention to what my body likes and what it needs, and really um, keeping your stress and your inflammation down. Inflammation causes every disease. That's the disease of the body, is inflammation. So if you can keep your inflammation down, I love dairy. I love dairy. uh, I mean, from the Midwest, we love cheese, but I had to kind of cut back on cheese. I don't drink milk anymore. If I make my coffee, because I always have my coffee. That's the only thing that kind of helps me with the fatigue. Um, if I drink it either black or with a non-dairy creamer. So that, to me, I think that was one of my hardest things. I still love chicken wings. Not gonna get those up, but I eat them in moderation. So I try to eat like 3 times as much salmon as I do to every chicken wing dinner. But um, next is exercise. So what I did is try to find. Oh, let me tell you about when I went home after I got because I'm a researcher. If you ask me something, I'm gonna go find it. So I look up MS, right, on YouTube, and I find the most horrible videos. These people are like just so negative, and I mean, I'm finding videos of people having seizures, and they are just totally out of it, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? I can't live like this. So then I said, well, I remember Montel being on Oprah, so let me go find that one. So I found him, and I started following some of his suggestions, and then I found positive people, and thank God for Facebook. I know everybody's like, Facebook this. Facebook is what you make it. Facebook has brought me very positive people in my life. So you surround yourself with positive people, you'll have a positive outlook. If you don't, then yeah, if you always have drama in your timeline, it's time to cut some people. Just cut them. But anyway, so Facebook, I found a wonderful support group because I tried to go to other support groups and it was not for me. They just was whining a lot. So I found a MS group for women of color. And because, of course, nobody really talks about how it affects black people. And it affects us differently because our levels, when they test our blood for vitamin D, which you get from the sun, and we have natural melanin, so we absorb more sun, it's off. So that group right there, Ebony Capers, I love her. She's a young sister out of Atlanta. She is in charge of that group, and that group just will hug you, and they made you feel like, you know what, we can make it. There's another group called We Are Illmatic, and they're another wonderful group of women of color. But having support, because my inner circle or my elders and family is just me and my cousins, and I have one aunt. So going through this by myself is kind of hard. But if you pray to God, He will send you the people in your life that you need because the people that I thought would be there, they kind of distance themselves for any reason, and now I have a whole new tribe of people that love me and support me and guide me and keep me up, and we motivate each other, and I love it. I love my church, and I joined my church actually in 15, and I fought it tooth and nail, like, no, God, you made me have that accident, and I don't know, you took my mama and and everything. So, but then God was like, okay, well, you done with your little temper tantrum, then I got something for you. So now I'm living the best life I can. There's no there's no stopping me, because MS is just another thing. But you know what? I messed around and went to a support group meeting, and they had a neurologist that was a guest speaker. And he messed around and he said, your brain can heal itself. I'm like, did he just say what I think he said? So he, what? So I raised my hand. I said, excuse me, can you repeat what you said? Are you saying that your brain can heal the lesions? And he said, yes. It's like, that's all I need to hear. So I rebuke all these lesions and things like that. My brain, we only use a little part of our brain. So if I could heal that little part of my brain that's affected, then I'm good. And I want to use more of my brain, because our brain tells our body what to do. So you got to think that, you got to think positive. You got to change your mindset. And you got to believe that God can heal you and that you can heal yourself. So when I go back and get my MRI, I'm not on medicine, because when they put me on medicine for there's no cure for MS. They only put you on these what do they call them? Disease modifying drugs, or disease modifying drugs. So they're supposed to slow down the progression. But when I was on this drug, it made me lose 30 pounds. I couldn't eat. Every time I took it, it felt like somebody was pouring hot lava all over me. My kidneys and my liver was like getting destroyed. It was horrible. It was horrible. And I was so sick and so tired that I couldn't do anything. So what kind of life is that? I had a bad reaction to it one day, and I called my neurologist and I said, I'm not taking this no more. So he said, oh, well, there's other options. I was like, okay. I ain't take nothing. So my CBD oil works. Indiana is slow on the medicinal marijuana, but they need to hurry up, because people with MS and people with epilepsy, we need it. So that I'm just trying to go the holistic route. So I have hope. Just like my shirt says, you gotta live it. I am woman, and God created me. Oh, the friends that are your circle or your family, people with a invisible disease, be it MS, lupus, fibromyalgia, anything like that, diabetes, sometimes you can't even see cancer. You don't know until it's is really ravaging the body. But people, either when you don't talk about it, because if you talk about it, it'll become real. And if you talk about it, then the power is in your tongue. So the power of life and death is in your tongue. So if you believe that, you think, if I don't talk about it, I'll be all right. But then if somebody asks you, how you doing? You automatically say, I'm okay. Because for one, they don't either want to hear it and they're just asking to be polite, or they're going to ask, they're going to ask and you tell them, and then they're going to hit you with but you look fine. That gets on everybody's nerves. Don't say that to somebody that's suffering from chronic disease, because they're like, okay, really? That's not what I need to hear. Like, I know I look fine, but I feel like crap on the inside. Or, some people just can't handle it. I lost a dear friend. I thought she was a dear friend. Really close. Like, we were like sisters. And she didn't believe about MS. She didn't study it. She didn't want any of this, to learn about it or anything. And I just didn't get it. She just, I remember she told me that I was just settling and I just wanted to get a check. I didn't understand that. I'm not one to lay up and collect a check. But anyway, so you're going to have people, if you're newly diagnosed, I'm going to talk to you like I talk to my friend. My sister that just got diagnosed. First of all, just breathe. And relax. It's going to be okay. Then find you a positive support group. And then ask questions. If your doctor tells you you have to be on a medication right then and there, then make sure that you say, let me research some things. Research all your options. Because unfortunately, Big Farm, you know, they give samples and everything and tell the doctors, okay, push my drug. So you have to do your own research. And I remember when I was at my lowest and I was struggling with insurance and trying to get coverage for things like that, God whispered in my ear. He said, you have to be your own advocate. So that's what I tell everybody that is diagnosed with anything. You have to be your own advocate. Only you know what you feel inside your body. Only you know what the pain you go through. Only you know the struggles that you go through. You could tell people, but they don't understand because they're not living in your shoes, in your body. So you have to be your own advocate for every aspect of your life. So there are wonderful resources and societies out there. The National MS Society, the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. They are awesome. I think that's the name. MSAA. They are awesome. I got so much help from them. Check them. They have tons of resources and they can get you with the right people. And they also have a thing where you can, on the website, you can find doctors that specialize in MS. You can join your local chapter of the MS Society. Just because you may end up in a wheelchair doesn't mean your life is going to end. Doesn't mean that you might not get out that wheelchair again. Our life is, we don't know what's going to happen. So you just got to keep pushing. It is not a death sentence. And every day is a new day. Weeping endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So when I'm going through those struggles at night, that's the scripture that really gets me through. Waking up and seeing that sun. And sometimes you got people that are your sunshine on a gray day. So just love the people who are there for you. Be your own advocate. Take one day at a time. And take care of yourself and love yourself. Love yourself. One of the hardest things is trying to find your new normal and really accepting you. Because you won't be that same person, but that doesn't mean you're less than. That means you're more. That means you're stronger. We are warriors. And we're warriors. My name is Cherie, and thank you for watching my story of finding me.